Welcome to our first ever video update from Guatemala. We get communication from time to time through email, through Facebook Messenger, chat messages, WhatsApp, even regular text messages with encouragement, which we're so thankful for, and also questions that we love answering. So Candace and I had talked about it, and we decided that from time to time, we're just going to do a video update. So today is our first video update with some of the questions that we have been asked, and hopefully you enjoy it. It's informative and encouraging. The first question that seems to come up a lot is, how are you doing? How are you doing with the culture change? How are you doing with learning the language? And that's kind of three questions in one, but they all kind of wrap together. So Candace, would you like to go for that first?
Now we're doing pretty good.
I think we're doing well.
At first it was pretty rocky. Your world gets turned upside down, and it's very different from, we visited here a couple times. Rick's been down here 3 times. I've been here a couple times in Latin America. There's a difference between visiting for 2 weeks and living here. And it also makes a difference when we are in an area that is not English speaking. So your world is turned upside down, everything is different, all your routines are different. So we are adjusting, and I thank the Lord for it.
Yes.
But it has not been an easy adjustment, and I'm sure there are more adjustments to come.
Yeah, I think the one thing that when we think of the adjustments, there's things that you anticipate, things you don't, but living in an area that there's really no English, it's kind of an immersion program. We're very thankful for how the Lord has helped us. He is helping us with the language school quite a bit. That was something that my expectations were out of line. Being somebody that is a little more logical, there's nothing logical about languages that I found. And in fact, I struggled with English most of my life, let alone a new language. But the Lord is really helping us to be able to communicate, to be able to learn the language. We are very thankful for that. So the adjusting, where it is today and where it was 2 months ago, even a month ago, huge difference.
Yeah.
We're much more comfortable. We're getting accustomed to life in a more remote setting, and we're very thankful for that. Another question that we get from time to time, I will probably defer to Candace on this one, but it's, how is your typical day, but how is the food prep? How is the cooking? What's life like in Guatemala versus what you were used to? So I'll defer to Candace on that one.
My biggest adjustment has been cooking. I at this point am not cooking like a Guatemalan woman would. It's very labor intensive. In fact, they still get up, our neighbors still get up at 5 o'clock every morning, 7 days a week, and take their corn to be ground at a mill and get back and make tortillas for their husbands before they go to work in the fields at 6 o'clock. That's very labor intensive. There are no convenience foods here, or very few, I shouldn't say no, but few convenience foods here. You can't buy frozen vegetables, you can't even buy canned vegetables. You might be able to buy canned beans or corn, but that's it. So all your shopping is done in different places. You go to a pharmacy for ibuprofen, you go to a little tienda for some food products, you go to the meat market for meat, and you go to another market for vegetables. Then your vegetables have to be properly cleaned in Clorox water. We don't have any hot water in our house, so that's another adjustment. So not having the type of food products that you would have in the States, it's an adjustment. We are making that adjustment. We also don't have an oven, so I use a crock pot. I was able to find a crock pot
Thank the Lord.
in the city, so I probably use a crock pot about 5 days a week. I even made apple crisp in the crock pot. So we're adjusting and we're learning.
Yeah, that's been an adjustment. One of the questions that we get from time to time is, people hear about the words culture shock. Have you experienced any culture shock? And I think the answer to both of us is yes. I think we'll leave that for another time because we could get into different triggers that we both have. But for the sake of length in the video, that's a great question for another video in the future, when it's hit us, how that's went. But what we can say is time and time again, we can see God's hand right on us each and every day, and we're very thankful for that. The adjustment is we are doing well, the changes in the culture, and really life being completely flipped upside down. So we're thankful for that. Another question is, has there been anything that really caught you by surprise, that really you did not anticipate? And while there are a few of those, I think probably for both of us, for me, the one thing that I did not anticipate that really caught me off guard was the mental fatigue. I had no idea how fatigued I would be, not only physically, but mentally at the end of each day. Being in a more rural setting, a remote setting, with very limited English, a few words here and there, we're folks focused on using Spanish to communicate every day. So every day, whether or not we're getting buying vegetables, in class, you're going out to buy meat, whatever you're doing, you are forced to communicate. And by the end of the day, with the changes in life, just the mental fatigue, I did not anticipate at all how tired I would be, not just at the end of the day, but during the day at times, just really mental fatigue. And that's been one thing the Lord has really helped us. That's getting better and better, and we're thankful for that. But that's the one thing that would be the top of my list personally that caught me off guard.
Mine would probably be the lack of accessibility to certain things like the foods, which I mentioned earlier. There is no Amazon here.
No Amazon.
That's an adjustment. Just finding simple household products that you need. If Eric and Hannah hadn't, when we first moved here, taken us to the city, I don't know what we would have done. Just buying things like silverware or a shower curtain, very hard to find here. So that caught me a little bit off guard. I thought maybe there are those things in these, there's little tiendas or little shops everywhere.
They're kind of hidden in little nooks and crannies and stuff like that.
And maybe somebody has those things and we haven't stumbled across them yet, but very, very, very different as far as shopping.
Yeah, so true. Another question that we get from time to time is, while we know that you're in transition, we know that you're learning the language and you're really not in full ministry focus, do you have any ministry updates or anything happening from a ministry standpoint that you can share with us? And the answer to that is yes. The Lord has really helped us with building relationships. See, it starts with relationships. We serve a God that is relational. And He has brought people into our lives, Oscar, Esther, Andrea, Ramon, Rudy, Veronica, Maggie, several people that are in our lives now, let alone people like Michael that we've met on outings, that we can talk to and we can share with and really sow seeds for the kingdom. So ministry, yes, even though we don't know the language, we've been able to reach out and do a few things. The other thing along with that is it's also brought to light the importance for us to make sure that we have a good handle on the language before we move on. Language is crucial for us to be able to communicate with the pastors and other people. And we thank the Lord how He's helping us. We have a good teacher. She's working with us. We're coming along. We can see our language every week, every 2 weeks, getting better and better as we communicate in public and in class. The other thing was for me personally, is I asked the question, especially early on with some of those culture shock things, Lord, why did you bring us here? Why did you bring us here to learn the language when we could do that at Quetzaltenango? We could do that in other places. But that's become clear more and more over the last couple months. You see, being in this setting has really shown us and taught us how life is for a more rural, remote setting where a majority of all the pastors are that we're going to work with in Central America and here in Guatemala. And so being able to see how they live, be able to see how the women have to go to the mill early in the morning, how the water is. We visited Pañavar, very poor community, small pueblo village, and the poverty, but the bad water and the struggles with food there. It's helped us to see how they live and to experience this as well. God has really opened our eyes, but at the same time, He's shown us and brought things to light of potential new projects, two in particular, that we are excited about and still in the infancy stage of looking at those and how would that work and how would it work in Takana, how could it look in other places. Tamuco, there are ideas that God is bringing us for potential projects to our minds, and we are so thankful. We would have never known that if we weren't here.
Yes.
And so for that, we're very thankful. God is really doing a work in us. We're thankful for how He's continuing to shape and mold us for His service, for that's our goal. That's our direction, is to walk according to His direction for our lives. This journey is enjoyable. At times, is it difficult? Yes, it's very difficult. But looking at it, God is directing. He is giving us even opportunities to sow seeds for His kingdom now. And that's what it's about. It's about Him. It's about the gospel and doing what we can to be His vessels and be transparent vessels for Him. We're encouraged. We hope you're encouraged by the update. We can't thank you enough for your prayers, your support. We couldn't do this without you. And it is comforting more than you know to know that we have others that are lifting us up on a regular basis. And we thank you very much. God bless. We hope you have a great rest of your week.
Thank you.
Thank you.